Welcome to the Lejeune Family Medical Practice Podcast, where we place our talents at the service of life.
And welcome back to all our Lejeunecast listeners. With the My Health Record opt-out period ending on the 31st of January, we thought we'd look at this issue in depth and help you make an informed decision about your health information. If you're enjoying this show, please tell your friends all about it, subscribe to the audio feed, and be sure to give us some feedback. Over 6 million Australians now have a My Health Record since the My Health Records Act commenced in 2012. And unless you opt out, every single Australian will have the equivalent of an empty manila folder in a digital filing cabinet. Nothing will go into that record without your specific say-so about your personal health information. Thought it useful in this segment to look at some of the information about what the record can achieve, why it's very useful, but also hopefully to address the issues of security. Here we present you another lot of content from our GoShare platform, which can be accessed thanks to Healthily, ILY, www.healthily.com.au.
My name is Lionel Corrigan, commonly known as Tiger. I'm married to Drennis for 50 odd years. I've been a plant operator, miner my life. Consequently, I suffer all the problems of plant operator and miner. I've had a triple bypass, sugar diabetic, kidneys are on fail point, arthritis, gout, sleep acne, reflux, emphysema. I think that's about all.
Yeah, you do follow doctor's orders very well.
I've seen a lot of doctors in my time, and Ron's the only one I've stuck to.
I'm Dr. Ron Malpass, and I've been practicing in Townsville in my own general practice for 30 years. My health record, I think, is easy to use because on the software program of best practice, it's just the click of a button, and we have access to pharmaceutical information, any discharge summaries, any shared health summaries uploaded from other practices.
I was moving around a bit and I thought it was a good idea to have my records and everything available.
With Tiger's problems, it was always going to be an issue of getting information quickly that was accurate. And so I thought, well, this is an excellent way for all of the people who might be involved in his care to be able to be fully informed of what's happening. Tiger sees a lot of different specialists, cardiologists, urologists, endocrinologists. Often those specialists don't communicate with each other.
When Ron explained it all, I said, well, that's what I want. Because how'd I be in Corumba, where you only got a nursing sister? Well, has she got my health record access? This is what the information is there for her. Any other time, what you got to ring Townsville and wait until daylight hours and all the rest, and meanwhile I've died of old age up there. My chemist shop.
Yeah, chemist shop, all right.
That's me. It's 14, for breakfast, 10 for tea. My health records have all the information there. The interaction between the doctor and pharmacist or allied health is there readily available.
Well, the only thing I could say is to encourage us all to get on board, from specialist primary care practitioners, pharmacists. So I think it's something that we would all in the future realise the value of.
A series of documents came across my desk today from the Australian Digital Health Agency. This is what it says. Patients can now opt in or opt out of My Health Record at any time. On 26 November, the Australian Parliament passed new laws to strengthen the privacy and security protections within My Health Record. Patients can visit myhealthrecord.gov.au to find out more before they decide. I think this is probably in response to the issues that Dr. Karen Phelps, the former president of the AMA, in her July piece in the Courier Mail, when she outlined the various holes, particularly around Section 70 of the My Health Record, which was governed by policy but not particularly by legislation. It was pointed out that the provisions actually break the bond between clinician and patient. The idea that police in the ATO and other agencies could trawl these databases at will is abhorrent. It really is. I mean, if we as clinicians are responsible for patient-doctor confidentiality, and then we're helping create information that can be seen by a third party without the patient say so, that definitely goes to the heart of the relationship existing between doctor and patient. In the original legislation, Section 70 of the Act, there it is. And I quote, "The system operator is authorised to use or disclose health information included in a healthcare recipient's My Health record if the system operator reasonably believes that the use or disclosure is reasonably necessary for one or more of the following things done by or on behalf of an enforcement body." And they list a few things here. Number one, the prevention, detection, investigation, prosecution, or punishment of criminal offences, breaches of law imposing a penalty or sanction, or breaches of a prescribed law. Number two, the enforcement of laws relating to the confiscation of the proceeds of crime. This is a big one. Number three, the protection of public revenue. Perhaps a very salient point brought up in the article is that although it was policy that no documents could be released without a court order, it was just that. It was policy. It was not legislation. Well, that was then, and perhaps a lot of my patients and your patients too operating under that reading of the situation know now that there are strengthened privacy protections. Firstly, patients can now delete their My Health record permanently if they decide they don't want one at any time after the 31st January date. If they change their mind, they can always choose to register for a new My Health record into the future. The second point is the new laws prohibit the release of health information in your patient's My Health record to law enforcement agencies and government agencies without their express consent or an order from a judicial officer. These laws also prohibit, by law, access to My Health records by anyone for insurance or employment purposes.
My name's Ian. I'm a farmer. I live in Yankalilla in South Australia. I've been coming to the centre here for about 12 years now. I first met Chris when I came here, and we just seem to have a rapport. I understand him, he understands me, and he, I guess, is one of those people that you find that really digs to come up with an answer. He's just like some of the bloody good mechanics we had on the Air Force. Record keeping has been in the aviation industry ever since it was invented. Every aeroplane that's ever built has its own maintenance log with it, and it's the perfect system. When Chris told me about My Health record, he didn't have to sell me at all. My Health record gives you the facility to go in and immediately investigate what your maintenance record's been like as a human being.
Well, there's so many benefits for patients in terms of getting information to the point of care when there might be no other information. For example, patients who are travelling, patients who turn up in hospitals or emergency departments. This really is a document which can represent the patient in terms of their wishes, but also tell us who we need to talk to if a patient has lost the capacity to make decisions. Ian's case was an excellent example of where the My Health record could come into its own.
It was my son's birthday. As usual, we went to Sydney for this particular son's birthday, checked into the hotel. 3 hours later, I was in the back of an ambulance heading to St Vincent's Hospital, and they found I had a thing called a pancreatitis. Eventually, after 4 days in there, I talked them into letting me out on the basis that as soon as I got home, I went to see my own doctor.
He had been discharged from a hospital from another state with no information. He'd been told that he needed to follow up and to get something important done, and he presented to me with no information.
With the My Health record, of course, it was available within, a minute of walking into Chris's room.
I was able to look at the My Health record and found that there was a discharge summary with information about what he'd had and what he needed done. And that was gold in this situation. It was information that I would not have otherwise had, and which made all the difference to his care at that stage.
He knew exactly what to do to pick it up from that point and to start caring for me on the basis of what he'd found in the My Health record.
There's potential now to add things like pathology and diagnostic imaging, that's blood tests and x-rays, tuned to the point of care when we've never had that before.
Marvellous system. I'm glad I signed up for it 2 or 3 years before. It looks after me, and that's what it's for.
So there are a range of technologies to protect the sensitive personal and health information held in the My Health record. These include firewalls to block unauthorized access, audit logs to track access to records, initial and regular antivirus scanning of documents uploaded to records, and system monitoring to detect suspicious activity. Also, the security processes limit access to the My Health record system. Servers and administration computers, external software goes through conformance processes before it is allowed to connect to the My Health record system, which will extend to medical practice software or mobile applications such as My Child's eHealth record app. But also it's important to remember that there is now legislation that provides protections through privacy and health information, as well as hefty penalties for the deliberate misuse of this information. There are some practical things that you can do. From my experience with talking with other health professionals, people in the Digital Health Agency and GPs, a minority of patients actually opt to lock their record. There's nothing to stop you now logging on to your MyGov account, clicking on your My Health record and setting a record access code. You can do that by clicking on the Privacy and Access button. And you can actually see a list of all the practices that are on your access list. The second thing you can do, if you like, is to set a limited document access code. So you're actually putting a code on every particular document, such as your shared health summary or maybe an event summary that a doctor has uploaded.
On a Friday afternoon, I was coming home from work and my younger daughter rang me and said, "Mum, Marnie's collapsed." When I arrived at the local hospital, they ran out and said she'd had a massive brain hemorrhage. Just a really athletic girl who just played every sport, was a national young rider, an academic, ready to take on the world, really. When Marnie came out of hospital, it was really, Marnie needed full-time care, and it's ongoing.
In my experience, one of the most difficult things for carers is that they just can't see someone's health information. The information flows from GP to specialist and allied healthcare provider to other clinical people in the care team, and carers often get left out of that really important loop. Now, that's where My Health record can really help.
Care doesn't happen in isolation. With Marnie, she's a young person with complex care and working with multiple health professionals. It was really important for Marnie to have a My Health record, but it was really important for me as her carer. It really provides me with a level of security and confidence. Probably reduces that anxiety of, if I wasn't here, someone will know about Marnie's story, that Marnie will be managed appropriately.
My Health record records all the key information that would need to be made available instantly in many cases to a health professional. The details they need to remember are digitally recorded and easily retrieved. And that's one of the reasons I think the health record is so important to carers. From my own experience, I have a son who has epilepsy. He's had it since he was in his teens, and often when he's had seizures, he's also injured himself very seriously in the process. The people treating him want to know a whole lot of things. Not only is he in no position to recall those things, but as a carer, I'm also in a state of high anxiety and stress, and I can't remember either.
Think about the person you're caring for. They deserve to have a voice, and the My Health record does provide that. Over time, we'll be able to see what's occurred with her hospitalisations, what's happened with her blood tests, which are critical parts of actually then determining what the next steps of management and treatment are. As the carer, I'm really the one sort of helping to build that record and make sure that the information is being captured that possibly would never have been captured if Marnie had to rely on being the advocate for herself.
Say if you don't remember, you have that on the screen. Having it written down as opposed to having to repeat it so many times is good as well.
Lejeunecast, brought to you by the doctors and staff at Lejeune Family Medical Practice. Our website is www.lejeunmedical.com.au, where you can book your next appointment online, request a prescription renewal, and much more. The contents of this audio podcast are not designed to constitute specific medical advice. If you have further questions about your particular condition, please go and consult your local general practitioner or health professional.